Welcome to the second video of this series on advocacy planning training. This video will cover two topics. Firstly, a general background to advocacy and your own advocacy plan. And secondly, the problem. In other words, what needs to change. Advocacy planning starts with a contextual analysis. When engaging in planning, it's important that you do not skip this step and decide on activities that are needed to meet your goals before the plan is finalized. If you start engaging in activities without fully mapping out the context of your advocacy plan, you might end up using your energy targeting the wrong people or implementing activities ineffectively. For example, your activities might be based on working to reform one particular law, whereas you could have focused on a further reaching policy that would have been more effective and could have created greater change. When looking at context, you can analyze it from different perspectives: political, legal, and social. For the political and legal context, we encourage you to list the legal and policy frameworks that could both help you achieve your advocacy goals and that might serve as a barrier or obstacle to reaching them. In addition to laws and policies, there may also be national strategies and plans in place that impact your issue. For example, does your country have a national strategic plan for HIV/AIDS? Are there any national population-specific laws or policies, such as national strategies in place for women or youth? There may also be implementation-level documents that have a significant impact on the change you want to see. For example, department-level policies or budgets, or standard operating procedures for state officials. Think both broadly, from the national level to the local level, and specifically only legal and policy frameworks that have a direct and important bearing on your advocacy goal. List any legal and policy frameworks that are relevant to your advocacy issue. Take a moment to reflect on the social context you're working in. If your advocacy plan is more centered around campaigning and support from the general public, it is useful to identify social and cultural norms that relate to your issue. Social and cultural norms determine the behavior of individuals or institutions to a large extent and will have an impact on how they view and therefore help you with your advocacy issue. Social and cultural norms are rules or expectations of behavior and thoughts based on shared beliefs within a specific social or cultural group. Some social and cultural norms have their roots in religion. For example, some individuals might have beliefs around polygamy, childbearing, and specific expectations about gender roles that are rooted in their faith. Norms can also be found in organizations. For example, doctors, lawyers, or government officials may have certain protocols they expect to be followed when they are addressed during a public meeting. Analyze your social and cultural context. Think about and list the social and cultural norms, including gender norms, that have an impact on your advocacy issue. What are some of the existing problems in your community or country that you want to address through advocacy? List the problem you want to and are able to work on in the coming years so that you can dive into how you will address them as part of your strategy. Of course, you cannot change everything at once, so you have to be specific here and prioritize. Collecting and analyzing recent data on an issue will help you determine the size of the problem and will be a basis for realistic goal setting later on. Give a brief description of the problem you want to solve. Who is affected by the problem? Why is there a problem? What are the main causes of the problem? What is the impact of the problem, and what will the future consequences be? In what ways can the problem be solved? What evidence can be used to support your definition of the problem? The next video will take you through goals, objectives, and target audiences.